Hare Krishna. Hope the screen is visible and I am audible there.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you once again for taking out your precious time and joining us for this class, Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Let us start our day by prayers to Shishi Radha Govinda and seeking blessings from our Guru Parampara. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadadi Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा। Yeah, let us continue our discussion from chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. So let us start with a quick recap of what we learned so far in this chapter, and then we can move further. So somebody wish to take up the opportunity? Who wish to take up? We have to cover a lot today and complete it by 10. So let us quickly start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
In the chapter 8, we just came to know about how a devotee comes towards the bhakti rasa, and in this ninth chapter, now Krishna is explaining how to become such a devotee. So he starts with saying that the people who are non-envious, that is, who are faithful to him, will attain Krishna by hearing this most confidential knowledge about him. Raj, basically Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam. This chapter is basically the king of all the knowledges and king of all the Vidyas and king of all the Shastras, what we can say, what Krishna is discussing in this particular section. The faithfulness forces, if you are faithful towards the Lord, then only you will go to his loka. Otherwise, you will be in that particular cycle of death and basically birth once again. So then Krishna says about the qualities of a good bhakta. What is a good bhakta? Where he discussed about duratma. Duratma means a thief sort of a person. He thinks that Krishna's form is very ordinary and uh, he is not much more important. I can also become like God. by karmas and all the things. What is generally happening with Mayavadi peoples, which is a very dangerous thing in life. Then Krishna gives the qualities of Mahatma, Mahatma. Those who know the Krishna's form and his transcendental position, they can only understand him. And at the same time, the few words which I have just collected from the various verses, that how we can remember this particular chapter nicely, is that Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam, that this is the knowledge of the best knowledge, the king of kings of the knowledge. That is one thing. And then other thing is, we should never doubt God, be faithful to him. And the practical faith and impersonal faith should be there for the God. Then we can keep in mind the example of PM, like say Narendra Modi. He is not present everywhere, but at the same time, his orders are followed everywhere. So without Krishna's will, nothing will happen in this universe, although you may not see him everywhere in this universe. It's the way, just like what example has been given in this. The mighty wind blows everywhere. So why I am not everywhere? You should understand by that. So wind goes everywhere, but few people can only understand that I am present everywhere, and few cannot understand it. So that will create a difference between a pure devotee and a non-devotee. And at the same time, he has given the example that everything that moves in this universe moves only due to the will of Krishna. Don't think that you are moving the things. And generally, what happens, a sansaric person sometimes by thinks that, oh, he's paying fees of his child, oh, he's feeding his parents, oh, he's taking care of everybody. It's nothing. Nothing is in your hand. Everything is will of Krishna. If will of Krishna is there, then only you will feed your children nicely. Then only you will fulfill desires of your parents. You will take care of them. Otherwise, you see what the miseries are going right now with the senior citizens in this universe.
Yeah. Thank you very
So,
much, Prabhuji.
and at the same time, there is an example of judge also given the same way. He is not present at the time of murder or any other, say, what illegal thing has happened, but he gives the judgment about the things. This is all from my side.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nicely summarized all key important points you summarized. So even a blade of grass to move, it moves by the supreme will. And the last example what you gave is the Supreme Court judge is giving orders. Yeah. For as a result of his orders, many people are being hanged, many people are being put behind bars, but because of his action, he is not getting affected. And Krishna is present everywhere. As we said, through his material expansion, material energies, he is present everywhere, but he is not attached to every actions. He is not necessary, he should be there in every actions. Yeah. So that is Krishna's Achintya Beda, Abeda Tattva. He is there, at the same time, he is not there. So thank you very much. Very nicely summarized all important points. And then let us now move on with our further discussion. So as we are discussing about the pure devotional service, one more thing I just want to touch in addition to what Jaideep Prabhu said is, now we learned very clearly through this chapter that chapter 2 and 3 is the the confidential knowledge, because it gives us knowledge that we are not this body and we are spirit, soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is the master and we are his eternal servants. And chapter 7 and 8 is known as more confidential knowledge, because this talks about the pure devotional service, and only by engaging pure devotional service we can purify and go back to Krishna. So that is more. And the most confidential knowledge what we are gaining today is how we can become a devotee, a pure devotee of Krishna and go back to Krishna. So this is one important thing which I wanted to add. So Devika Mataji, you want to add anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, just one point I would like to add is I really liked it. So I noted it down when you mentioned about people who are after Karma Kand, they can never attain Krishna. So one needs to focus on being Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. That is, and then only they can attain the liberation and come to Krishna. And another, we also focused on 3 types of Vishnus, Prabhuji. So Karnodakshay, Garbhodakshay, and Kshirodakshay. And then you also mentioned about 3 types of devotees, Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam. And one last point I want to add is material world is inferior quality of Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Appreciate, though you were not part of last session, but you have listened to the recording and you are able to connect. So I appreciate that and request all other devotees, for whatever reason, if you miss out, make it a point that next 1 or 2 days you listen to the recording. That much commitment we have to have. So once we listen to the recording, we do not miss all these important points and we can continue. And the point what I was saying is, when we are talking about pure devotional service, we discussed about a sloka from Nectar of Instruction, sloka 3. What are the 6 qualities with which we can fix up in Krishna consciousness? It says, Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyaga Sato Vritte. So 6 qualities, Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya. Similarly, there are 6 qualities which is determinant to our progress in Krishna consciousness. Which are those 6 qualities? So that again is given in Nectar of Instructions Loka 2, which I thought I will bring it to you. So all these things I'm just trying to give you the teasers or trailers of Nectar of Instruction. Why I bring this? To keep your enthusiasm intact so that you all complete your quiz, complete level 2 and go to level 3 to understand what it is. Level 3, you get great knowledge from Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Sri Upanishad. It's all very, very important scriptures in addition to Bhagavad Gita, what we are learning. So that is why I keep bringing some of those slokas to you so that it keeps your interest ignited to progress and complete level 2 and go to level 3. So let us tell you the sloka from Nectar of Instruction, sloka 2. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpaniyamagraho janasangascha laulyam cha sadbir bhaktir vinashati. So what it says is these are 6 qualities or things what we do which will become a great impediment in our progress. So what are those 6 things? That is atyahara prayasascha, that is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than what is necessary for us. So whatever assets, funds we have, we should utilize to the quota what is to us, and then we have to utilize these funds in service of the Supreme Lord, in propagating the knowledge of Supreme Lord. So we should not hoard more than what is necessary. Similarly, even eating more than, it is said that even prasad, we should not eat more than what is necessary for us. The second point is over endeavoring for mundane things, which is difficult to achieve. We put so much of hard work for material gains. So over endeavoring to that is also one of the impediment. Whatever we are supposed to get by the mercy and blessings of Krishna, we will get. At the same time, we have to continue to do our prescribed duties. Yeah, and we should not put more endeavors for material gains. Third important point is talking prajalpa, talking unnecessary mundane subject matters. We spend so many hours going through various reels, WhatsApp forwards, Facebooks, and talk so many unwanted mundane things and waste our time in such prajalpa. We should consciously avoid all such things. And fourth is practicing spiritual rules and regulations just for the matter of practicing, not for the progress of our spiritual enlightenment. So this also we need to understand why such rules are there, and we need to understand the significance. Only then our conviction will improve. Fifth point is associating with worldly minded people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. So association of non-devotees. So in our day-to-day life, it is very hard to find devotees. Most of them are non-devotees. Then how are we going to deal in the society? What it is telling is, whatever is necessary, associate and move away and spend more time with serious and sincere devotees. That way you will also improve in your taste for Krishna consciousness or pure devotional service. And the last thing is being greedy for mundane achievements. So you need to be greedy to laulyam, for progressing in spiritual consciousness, than over endeavoring for mundane achievements. So these are 6 important points which is impediments. Now the most confidential knowledge, all this chapter, if I want to summarize, I was just thinking how to put it up so that it is easy for you all to remember and practice. So thereby I come up with this 3P formula, 3 Ps. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, Shloka 13, it says, clearly says, the ability to speak is blessings of Krishna to us. Every ability what we have, it is all Krishna's mercy. Now what are we going to do with this ability? With the same ability to speak, as we seen in this shloka from Nectar of Instruction, we can speak mundane things hours together. It is not going to help us in any way. The same speech, if you utilize to glorify the Supreme Lord, if you utilize to chant the holy names, you are purifying your abilities. Otherwise, it remains unchaste. So the Krishna consciousness, what is Krishna consciousness? This knowledge of the Supreme Lord, how do we gain? Is by learning from one. You are all learning Bhagavad Gita through this class and teaching to one. So the knowledge what you are getting, you need not have to wait till you complete your Bhakti Shastri course. Whatever you have learned, you can start speaking to your friends, family, so that what is happening is you are helping other conditioned soul to know this knowledge. At the same time, your own conviction by repeating this is improving and you get fixed up. So the first P is preaching what you learn. Before preaching, what is important for you is your own sadhana. Until and unless you attentively hear, you read Prabhupada books, you understand this. If you go on to speak, then you start speaking your mental speculations. So it is important to attentively hear your own sadhana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Janma sartak kari karo paropakar. So first of all, you Janma sartak kari, your own life, your own self-realization is first important before going to do paropakar. So how does that happen is by your sadhana, the strong sadhana. So you have to chant, you have to follow regulative principles, you have to read Prabhupada books, you have to attentively hear. So through this realization, you go out to preach. So the most confidential knowledge. What is that? How you become that pure devotee. So you do your sadhana strong and then preach. Preaching or devotional service. These are all part of devotional service, isn't it? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam. All these things that when we are preaching, when we are glorifying the God, you are engaging in devotional service, and that is the purpose of our life. So the first is preaching, second is the purpose is to engage in devotional service. And why are you doing this? The third P is for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. All the activity, you are taking 1 hour of your day in a Sunday morning is for your purification and for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So this is the 3 P's formula. You can keep it and hold on to it so that you have fixed up, not only now, all through your life. We understood at the time of death, we have to remember Krishna and then we have to leave. Taking darshan of Supreme Lord is ultimate goal, but this journey to that last moment is also equally important. This process is non-different from taking darshan of Supreme Lord. Just by engaging in this process, rest of your life, you're already associating with our Guru Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, as well as the Supreme Lord. So in this material world, in this body, you can continue to be in a transcendental platform. When you say this, that is nothing other than you are following this process of chanting minimum 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, reading Prabhupada books, ABCD of Bhakti. So you're already in the transcendental platform. I am so happy from this batch to see we are in still 9th chapter. Already there are so many, more than 50% of the devotees have already progressed to minimum 16 rounds. A big haribol to all those devotees. And many devotees from this batch already started engaging in some or the other devotional service. I'm sure they are experiencing that joy of giving without any expectation, of helping other devotees to progress. So these blissfulness can be experienced only by engaging in such service. So similarly, I look forward to all other devotees who are staying. I see few devotees who are not progressing from where they are from the chapter 1 till now. They continue to be where they are, but they are very enthusiastically participating in the class. I request to all such devotees to start progressing. How do you see whether you are progressing? The barometer is to just look at when you started this level 1, what was your chanting, how many rounds you were chanting, and now how many rounds you have progressed. All the knowledge what you are getting, if you are not able to progress, that knowledge is of no use. So you have to rise in your sincerity, seriousness in your actions to show to Krishna by your actions that I want to sincerely come back to you in this lifetime itself. Yeah. Now let us move on with our discussion quickly. So section D, Sloka 9.16 to 9.25, 2 important section we will look at: worshippers of the supreme form and the worshipper of demigod. Krishna is the supreme object of worship, we will learn. So we will understand even those who are worshipping the universal form or demigod, ultimately they are worshipping the Supreme Lord through these slokas. So the first sloka for the day, somebody can take up, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Aham kraturaham yajna swadaham aham aushadam mandroham ahame vajyam aham agniraham hudam. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Somebody can read the English translation.
But it is I who am the ritual, the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
Yeah. So from this sloka, we understand everything, both material and spiritual, everything is Krishna. From this sloka, Prabhupada says in purport that the Vedic sacrifices, which is known as Jyotistoma, is also Krishna. The oblations which are offered to the Pitruloka, or the sacrifices performed to the Pitruloka to please the Pitruloka, Pitrus, is also Krishna. The fire which is offered in these sacrifices is also Krishna. As you know, the Panchabhuta, fire is also one of the gross element, material element. So Krishna is saying that is also me. So in other words, what we need to understand is the devotee who is engaged in devotional service to Krishna is understood to have performed all these sacrifices. He need not have to separately perform all these sacrifices to their Pitrus or demigods. The chanting of holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself is Mahayagna, which covers everything and it pleases all the Pitrus as well as demigods. So next sloka.
Pitaham asya jagato mata tata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara riksamayajur evacha.
Thank you, Mataji. So English translation, somebody who is not comfortable reciting sloka, you can take up such opportunities. Please come forward. Hare Krishna.
I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier of the syllable Om. I am also the Arche, the Sama, and the Yujur Vedas.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So from this, Krishna is clearly telling, I am the father of this universe. Krishna is the seed-giving father of all the living entities. If we are killing any of the living entities for our sense enjoyment, definitely, as I shared this example, I will not be able to take a neighbor coming and slapping my son in front of me. The Supreme Father, how is he going to take? We should, I am sure many of the devotees have already stopped eating meat, non-vegetarian, but if not, it is better to stop it as soon as possible. And from this sloka, we understand the entire cosmic manifestation, both moving as well as non-moving, are manifested by the different activities of the Supreme Lord, different energies of the Supreme Lord. The Ishavasyam principle from Sri Ishopanishad, which says, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatan jagat tena tattvena bunjita magrida kashyasviddanam. So everything animate and inanimate belongs to Krishna. So knowing this, the sense of proprietorship, what we have, we sometimes think that we are the owners, we are the proprietors, we are the enjoyers. From this shloka, we clearly know that Krishna is the supreme master and the proprietor. So whatever we have to take as part of our quota rest, we have to engage in service of the Supreme Lord. So in the material existence, all the relationships, what we have is nothing but the marginal energies of the Supreme Lord. All our relatives are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So this is why I say that Krishna consciousness or practicing bhakti brings the best out of us. So with this knowledge, all the relationship what we have, we try to give our best. I could be a husband or a father or a son or a brother. I realize that whoever are my relatives are all mercy of Krishna, and Krishna also resides in their heart, and then I behave much better and I do justice to all these relationships. Sarvasya chaham ridhi sannivisto mata smritir jnanam atpohanam cha vedescha sarve aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. From all the Vedas, we need to understand Krishna is the Supreme Lord and He is residing in every living entity. He is the Father of all the living entities. He is the Data. He is the Supreme Creator and Supporter. He is the Purifier. Omkara, it says that it is the sound vibration. Even the Omkara is also one of the form of Krishna. And all the Vedas, from all the Vedas, we need to know is the Supreme Lord. Next two sloka, it is only English translation. So somebody not
Can I read
participated.
Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Please, Mataji, you can take it.
Shloka or translation, Prabhuji?
Translation you can read, Mataji.
Okay. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed. 19. O Arjuna, I control heat, the rain, and the drought. I am immortality, and I am also death personified, both being and non-being or in me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So here, Krishna is giving his constitutional position that he is the Supreme Master. And he is reminding us that we are his eternal servitors. This understanding is very important for us. Gati. Gati means that destination where we want to go. So if we ask, what is our ultimate goal? You ask anybody, they say that I want to own a house. I want to have a very luxurious car. I need to have a bank balance. I need to see that my kids educate well. I need to give a very comfortable life to my family. So people are all completely entangled in these material things. They do not know what is their ultimate goal, ultimate purpose. And in other hand, there are many who does demigod worship and they want to go to different higher heavenly planets like Chandraloka, Suryaloka, Indraloka, Maharloka. From these shloka, this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, we need to understand that we need to directly approach the Supreme Lord to get the maximum benefit of this human life. For example, if you have a possibility to take an express lift and go to the top floor, why do you want to go step by step through Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and then realize the Paramatma within and then fix up? Our Guru Acharyas are so merciful. They have directly given this knowledge of Bhakti Yoga. We have to hold on to it. And Krishna says, whenever we need protection, we have to take the shelter of the Supreme Lord. As said, my favorite quote before, Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake Ke. So if I am in the shelter of the Supreme Lord, who can destroy me? At the same time, if Krishna want to destroy me, who can protect me? The biggest of demons with greatest of powers, even demigod were fearing for such demons. They could not be protected by the Supreme Lord. So the one who is advanced in Krishna consciousness, he sees both in material things as well as spiritual things. He sees only Krishna in everything. So next two sloka on English translation, please take it up.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. They take bath on the planet, they take birth on the planet of Indra where they enjoy godly delights. 9.21. When they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this immortal planet again. Thus, through the Vedic principle, they achieve only flickering happiness. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. It's okay, Mataji. No issues. So, from this sloka, what we are trying to understand, those who are following the Karma Kanda section and want to go to the heavenly planet, there is a picture here. It's a roller coaster ride. From all the punyas what you have gained, you will go to the top. Once it is done, you have to come back down. This is like with lot of dollars in your pocket, you are going to enjoy, let's say Las Vegas. Yeah, how long you can enjoy? Till the time you have money in your pocket. Similarly, all the pious deeds, whatever you have, you can enjoy in heavenly planets and you have to come back. So what we understand is we neither need to do any sinful activities or pious activities. Every activity we have to do for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord and offer all the results of that fruitive activities at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So that way we can be detached from all these reactions. It could be positive reactions or negative reactions. We are away from this and we can go back to the Supreme Lord. So the devotional service is only way to go back the Lord, as we discussed, and chanting of holy names and try to understand the absolute truth is the way to go, rather than going through the Vedic scriptures for the Karma Kanda section and try to enjoy our senses in heavenly planets. So next sloka. This is a very important sloka. Please take it up.
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Since it is shloka, I'll recite.
Yes, please.
Ananyas chintayantu mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who worship me with devotion... Carry on, Mataji, please.
Okay. But those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. It's a very important sloka. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Krishna is guaranteeing that for the devotees, now we are all, at least I can tell to myself, I am not a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. I have my lot of my own impurities. Krishna is guaranteeing if you are sincere, Krishna will maintain what you have and Krishna will give. He preserves what we have and he gives what we lack. What more confidence we need? It is just our sincerity, and by actions, Krishna will continue to purify and gives what we lack. So one who thinks of Krishna 24/7 and engaged in devotional service, definitely he can perfect his life in this lifetime itself. And as we discussed before, how do we practice this is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, without any material desires. When we only desire to serve the Lord and his devotees by taking the shelter of Guru Parampara, that is our perfection of life. And by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, such devotees, Krishna is guaranteeing that he will never come back to these material conditions again. Kshema in this loka is referred to the protection of the Lord. The Lord helps such devotees to achieve Krishna consciousness by this connection yoga, bhakti yoga, and relieve us from these material miserable conditions. So next sloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
ये
Mataji.
अभि अन्य देवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः ते अभि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. Hare Krishna.
Next few slokas are very important to understand and have a clear clarity on demigod worship. Here, in purport, Prabhupada says, the person who is engaged in worship of demigod are not very intelligent. And it says, although such worship is indirectly being offered to the Lord, avidhi purvakam. For example, when a man is pouring water on the leaves and branches of the tree without pouring the water onto the root, he is doing that with his ignorance only. Similarly, if you feed the stomach, all other body parts is already nourished. You need not have to feed individual body parts separately, isn't it? So why such a person is called unintelligent, one who does demigod worship? We have come to this path doing various demigod worship only. Now, how do we need to progress further? Instead of taking shortcuts, just an example I tell you. Now, Supreme Lord is like the government, and there are various officers in this government. Instead of following the rules, if we follow the rules of the government, even the officers are happy. What are we trying to do? Instead of following the rules, we are trying to bribe the officers and trying to go scot-free from our sinful activities. So for temporary, you can go scot-free, but permanently you are not getting relieved. So this is a beautiful analogy what Prabhupada gives. So better to follow rules than giving bribes. So once we worship the Supreme Lord, even the demigods are happy. Now, having worshipped demigods all our life, how do we go further? Whenever we go to any demigod, any temples where demigods are worshipped, we have to pray for Krishna Bhakti and service of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. This should be our understanding. Rest, everything is ignorance. And next sloka.
अहं हि सर्वयजनामं भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेन्तास च्रयन्ति ते.
Yes. So translation.
Hare Krishna. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Krishna is declaring, I am the only enjoyer and the master of all the sacrifices. We have learnt in chapter 5, shloka 29, Bhoktaram yagnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surdam sarva bhutanam yatva mam shantim rachati. Yeah, this is the peace formula, Prabhupada says. For us to be free from all the anxieties of this material world, the peace formula is knowing this, that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is the supreme protector, supreme maintainer, and master of all the living entities, including the demigods. And all the yagna means Vishnu. Everybody should do all these sacrifices for the satisfaction of Vishnu only. Even the Varnashrama Dharma is designed specifically to satisfy the Supreme Lord. And that is why it is said that only the less intelligent person however, with lack of knowledge, worship demigods and try to get temporary material gains out of that. And as said, even if you have material desires, you have to reach to the Supreme Lord. That is what is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Shloka, Chapter 3, Shloka 10, which says, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. It says a person, he may be having a broader intelligence, very elevated, liberated soul, or somebody like us who are struggling in this material world with lot of material desires. Everybody should take shelter of the Supreme Lord. That is the perfection of our life. Next sloka. Hare Krishna.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yanti devavrata devan pitram yanti pitravrata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Yes. So at least English translation, whoever has not participated, please take this opportunity to participate. So anybody who have not participated it can try reading this translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me.
So this shloka clearly says there is a misconception that whoever we worship, we ultimately go. One God is one. But here clearly Krishna says through Bhagavad Gita that those who worship demigod will go to demigod planets. Chandra Loka, Indra Loka, many such lokas are there. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will go to such planets. And the pure devotee of the Lord, Krishna clearly says, they live with me. But unfortunately, not many knows this knowledge. We are so fortunate to come to this moment, taking up this Krishna consciousness, spending time to know this. We are so fortunate. But what is our prime responsibility? It is purely by the will and mercy of our Guru Parampara and Krishna we got this knowledge. Now it is our responsibility to spread this knowledge to as many conditioned souls as possible and contribute in some or the other way to expand this Krishna conscious preaching movement to as many conditioned souls as possible. So the way I see, by doing that, 10% we are helping others to know about this knowledge, 90% it is helping ourselves to firm up, to fix up in this Krishna consciousness movement. Our conviction, when we speak this to 10 people, our conviction improves and we try to follow. It is karo achar and prachar. So you are doing, when you are telling this, and when you are deviating with that path, internally the consciousness will help you to come back. That is what will help us to progress. We are now moving to the last section, the glories of directly worshipping the Supreme Lord. So last 10 minutes, let us quickly complete this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati taddaham bhakti upartam asnami prayaktatmana.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. So here, there is no excuse for us not to serve the Supreme Lord. Krishna doesn't have big bucket list, big expectations. Krishna is just Bhavagrahi Janardana. He just is telling Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. If somebody can offer me a leaf, flower, fruit, or a water with little tulsi leaf, with love and devotion, I accept it. So the poorest of poor can also offer this. The process is very easy. And here, in this sloka, bhakti is mentioned twice. So more than what you offer, how you offer is more important. With love and devotion, if you offer anything, Krishna accept it. And once Krishna accepts, it is our purification. And what we need to offer, we understand that we offer sattvic food. When we are, and importance of offering prasad. We learned in 3rd chapter, verse 13, whatever we are eating, we have to offer to Krishna and then we have to eat. Otherwise, we are eating only sin. And how do we purify our food is by offering. So when we are offering, we should not offer any tamasic food, including onion or garlic. Yeah. So let us move to the next sloka.
Yat
Hare Krishna.
karosi. Sorry. Go ahead, Mataji.
यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्य मदर्पणम्. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all the austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So as we learned, 24/7, we have to remember Krishna. How can we do this? We have to mold our life in such a way where we always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. This should be the theme. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. How can we do this? Bhakti is not sitting in front of deity chanting all 24 hours. Everything you do for the pleasure of Krishna. You are working, you work for Krishna. You are eating prasad, eating food. You offer prasad and you eat. And the best yagna, Nama Sankirtana yagna. In today's material world, everybody has a tendency to do some or the other charity. Krishna says, if you want to do charity, give it to me. And today is a very auspicious day, Ekadashi. Whatever charities we do, it is very important to do it for the right purpose, to the right person at the right time. So the best charity what you can do is doing something which can propagate this Krishna consciousness to the world. ISKCON Mangalore Shri Radha Govinda temple, such a beautiful temple is coming up. First of its kind temple coming from the contribution of the online congregation, devotees who are participating in this online class. First of its kind temple is coming up. So you can do charity to such activities. Continue to do. That is only going to purify the Lakshmi what you have. My personal experience, before coming into this Krishna consciousness, whatever money I was earning, there was never a day where it satisfied my need. But when we are giving some portion of this for this kind of services, I have seen for my personal need, it has not stopped my needs. That is what I want to say is all my needs are taken care. But our consciousness, it should not be that I give, I get. No. As a matter of duty, we have to do this. Ultimately, we are just a caretaker of what we have. It is all Supreme Lord's. Moving further. So the Nishkama Karma Yoga, we have already discussed. Whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we offer, we all have to do to the Supreme Lord. Next sloka.
शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्षस्य कर्मबन्धनाय संन्यासयोगयुक्ता मां विमुक्तो मम उपास्यसि.
English translation. We have 5 more minutes. Quickly take it up.
Hare Krishna Guruji. In this way, you will be freed from the bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With you, with your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Bhagavad Gita 9.28. Hare
So
Krishna.
here we understand how we can become free from the bondage of our work. It could be auspicious or inauspicious. How can we be free from this bondage? So one who acts in Krishna consciousness under the superior directions of spiritual master is called Yukta, and the technical word is Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya further is explained by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anasaktasya vishayam yataram upayunjato nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya uchyate. So what is yukta vairagya? Renunciation is you accept everything which can be engaged in the service of the Lord and reject everything which is not helping. Today we started our session talking about 6 things which is not going to help. So we have to leave all those things. That is yukta vairagya. And what Krishna says here, the word mam upaishyasi is very important. He comes to me. The one who is following yukta vairagya will come to me, is what we learn from this sloka. Let's move on to next sloka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosти na priya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So here Krishna saying Krishna is a friend to his devotees. As we discussed, Krishna is residing in within our heart as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu Paramatma. He becomes friend for his devotee and just a witness to his non-devotees. Or is Krishna partial here? What we learn from this sloka is, for example, Prabhupada gives a beautiful example. We all do some kind of charity, support to social cause, but we all have some special consideration for our children, right? Similarly, Krishna also has a special consideration for his unalloyed devotee. Otherwise, Krishna is giving all the facility to everybody without being partial. The rain, the light, everything, the nature, everything is given in equal. But wherever a devotee is deviating, Krishna gives him the special guidance and help to continue in this spiritual path. So as a result, what is happening for a devotee who is taken the shelter of the Supreme Lord, he is also glorified. How he is glorified is a beautiful analogy Prabhupada gives of a diamond ring. The diamond is a small piece, the ring is gold. Just this gold being in that diamond, that gold also, the value is increased, isn't it? Similarly, we are like gold and Krishna is diamond. We are associated, our value is also raised. We are also glorified in this material world. Next sloka. So we have another 4 sloka, maybe another 10 minutes. Let us close it sooner. So please take it up. Hare Krishna. Ambika Mataji. May go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Apiche suduracharo bhajade mamananyabhag sadureva samandavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. So here, what we need to understand, one important lesson we have to take away is fault finding. See, we are nobody to find faults in devotees. We are doing, if we are finding faults and then we are blaspheming, that is first aparadha what we are doing for nama aparadha, and that is going to be a great impediment for our progress in Krishna consciousness. Krishna clearly says, his devotee, even if he is temporarily falling, Krishna will give him the intelligence to come back. We need not have to get into that. At the same time, knowing this, what we need to understand is this does not give license for us to fall down. So very clearly we need to understand, temporarily, if somebody is following, Krishna will ensure, but it does not give license for us to fall down. We have to hold on to this and progress. And the analogy what Prabhupada explains is, for such devotees, such pure devotees who have temporarily fall down, it is like the mark of a rabbit on the moon. The effulgence of moon does not come down just by such spots. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord will not fall down. They will come back. Next sloka.
Shriparam bhavati dharmatma satchvach chantim nigashchati kaunteya pratijani name bhakta cha pranashyati.
He quickly quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
Yeah.
Hare
So
Krishna.
here, Krishna is clearly telling, my devotee never perish. So he quickly becomes righteous and attain lasting peace. So we need not have to get into that. That is one aspect we need to learn. Second is, engaging in devotional service, chanting the holy name itself is purifying process. So somebody who is temporarily falling down, because of the potency is so strong of chanting holy name, and if he has not left chanting of holy name, come back to this devotional path, is what we learn here. So last two slokas, not last two, there is one more. So 32 and 33, somebody can take it up. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mahi partha vyapasritya yepi syupabhayo naha striyo vaishyastada shudras tepi yanti paragatim. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So English translation, somebody can quickly read.
O son of Partha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishya, and Shudra, can attain the supreme destination. How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmana, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having to come to this temporary miserable world, engaging in loving service unto me. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So here it is clearly declared that supreme by the Lord that for the devotional service, there is no distinction between lower or higher class of people. Generally, in material condition, one who is from the sinful family, the higher family, do not accept. But for devotional service, there is no such differentiation. And hence one has to take the shelter of the Supreme Lord. And Sloka 9.33, it clearly states that Anityam Asukam Lokam, this world is temporary and full of misery and not habitable for a sane gentleman. So this is not the place for us to be and move on. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4 and Sloka 18, it states that even the lowest of the Chandalas, if they have taken the shelter of the Supreme Lord, they also get delivered. And from 9.33, we learned that the world is temporary, but there is another eternal world where we belong to and we have to go. That is our ultimate purpose, and that is ever eternal and blissful. And here Arjuna, though he is born for a saintly royal family, even he is been advised to engage in devotional service and go back to the Godhead. So the last sloka for the day, very important, nice sloka. Somebody can read.
मन्मना भव भक्तो मदयजी मम नमस्कुरु मम एवस्यस्य युक्तवैमाम् आत्मनां मम्मत परायणा.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, offer obeisances and worship me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So this is a very, very important sloka, which clearly indicates Krishna consciousness is the only way one can get freed from the clutches of Maya. And how can we fix up our mind at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord? First is chanting of holy name. Chanting of holy name purifies your heart and fix up you in this devotional service. By engaging in devotional service, you will always fix up your mind at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And from this chapter, largely we understood that any person who is worshipping demigod is considered as most unintelligent and he cannot achieve the Supreme Lord. We learned that the lowest of Chandalas can also attain the Supreme Lord by taking the shelter of Guru, bona fide Guru, and engaging in devotional service. He can also be delivered, but one who is worshipping demigods will go to the demigod loka, not to the Krishna loka. And then the devotee, we learned in the beginning, he may fall down sometime, but if he is sincere and determined, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, he will come back. So accidental fall, he will come back. So it doesn't give you the license to fall down. And we learned, my devotee will never perish, is what Krishna says. The pure devotee of the Lord will not fall down. So the intelligent person is to take up the direct worship of the Supreme Lord. So finally, to summarizing, the neophyte devotees like us, in what consciousness we have to engage in our prescribed duty? What should be our consciousness? We need to first understand our constitutional position, who we are. We are not this body, we are the spirit soul. And what should be our mood? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to this material world, the Krishna himself, what was his mood? He says, Gopi Bharta Padakamalo Dasa Dasanu Dasa. So we need to follow the footstep of our acharyas. So Krishna has shown us that we should be in the mood of servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, pure devotees of the Lord. So that should be our mood. And what I do, I work for the Supreme Lord. And how do I work? With Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairyat. And what am I going to do with the results of my work? Is offering my fruits of my activity in the service of the Supreme Lord. So with this, following these footsteps, one can also rise from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, top to the Bhava and Krishna Prema stage. So this is the most confidential knowledge we get from this chapter. So with this, I will come to end of today's chapter. Hope it was very helpful to all of you.
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you have to give us the 3P formula, which you have not told so far.
Hare Bol,
So
Prabhuji.
you cannot end the class.
So
Hare Krishna.
I think you have not there from the beginning of the class, or you are not attentive in the class. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
On a lighter note. So the 3P we already discussed, Prabhuji. Yeah. First is our purification. For purification, we need to be firm up in our sadhana. Second is preaching. Preaching the glories, the mercy what we have received, we have to give to as many conditioned souls as possible. That is our devotional service. Now, I'm very happy that you have joined our service volunteers group and you are helping in preaching mission. So that is the devotional service. So that is the second P. And why you are doing this is for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So that is the third P.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Right, Prabhuji?
Done with Prabhu.
Anyway, thank you asking again. So it again reiterates everybody that by following this 3P, this is the most confidential knowledge for us to fix up in this devotion. And one day, by the mercy of Krishna and our Guru Parampara, we also will become a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. So with this, I will end. Already I am 12 minutes late to my next session. So tomorrow evening, we will start with any of your realizations, any quick points what you liked. We will start with that. And any questions, tomorrow class, anyway, we will not have any time limitation. So we can take more questions then. Okay, so with this, I will end my session today. Vancha kalpatarubhasya cha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, the third point,
Krishna,
one is
Prabhuji.
purification, the other one is preaching, and the third one, Prabhuji?
So you are doing this preaching for the pleasure of Supreme Lord. All your
Okay.
activities you are doing, you are engaging in devotional service for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord.
Okay.
Purification is our sadhana. We have to rise in our sadhana. We want to be fixed up in our sadhana. That is our purification.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.